Part of the curriculum, a lesson in political science, popular movements in struggle. We will initiate a panel discussion in the class so that the topic gets highlighted and more comments on the topic is invited from your end. The topic for today's panel discussion reads, Popular Struggles and Movements Strengthen the Spirit of Democracy, and I am sure at the end of this panel discussion it will be quite enriching. You will have a lot of knowledge base on the topic and the role played by each movement in strengthening the spirit of democracy. So over to Gaurav for initiating the panel discussion.
Good morning, viewers. India recently saw these movements. Are these movements good for the democracy? We have along with the panel joining us Rishabh Das, Abhishek, Ranadeep, Tanya, Sushrita, Emilia, Archita, Agnarita, Abhi and Alkapal. So the question of the day is, do popular movements and struggles strengthen the spirit of the democracy? What do you feel? Viewers, say who is for the question? Please raise hands.
For the panel discussion.
And who is against the panel discussion? Well, it's a quite low percentage, but still, I like the spirit. But let's start with Ranadeep.
Hey, good morning. Today I'll be telling my views on the not in favor of the panel. So what I say is, it is correct to have movements. They indeed help the spirit of the democracy. But what the current movements are, they're not the true spirit. They're often backed by political parties and movements which are against the corruption are always involved in corruption. So in right spirit, it can have the spirit of democracy. But the current are political movements. Like the recent one we saw, the Jan Lokpal bill. We have Anna Hazare protesting, taking the whole country protesting against the corruption which is going all around the world, and specifically in India, which is one of the leading corrupt countries of the world. So what he did, went on fast. The government accepted his proposal and they went on negotiation. But still, there was no result of negotiation. Then he again went on fast. Then after this, in the second fast, he was backed by some political parties who are not in the route and who actually supported the people, not by their willingness, but to get supported by the people in the next election. That is what the main motives of the political parties are. They are not willing to support the people, but they want to be supported by the people. So they are in the ruling next year. So these are the scenario of the current movements, where the political parties are always having the hands than the common people. The common people's views and motives or intentions, whatever you can say, are often diminished or often crushed by the motives of the political parties, who are of course more powerful in our country and want more power. The next day I want to highlight one another point, that Anna Hazare movement, it involved a lot of youths. These youths who are supposed to go to colleges, have their researches, have their studies and build the future of the nation are indeed not doing so. They are going around the streets, going on fast, doing whatever they want. And if they do it like this, can Anna Hazare or any leader of the movement, can he assure the youth any job, or can he assure youth any concrete future where the youths now can go on strikes and in future they can have good jobs, rather non-corrupted jobs. So this is what I want to say. The things that are happening now, the movements that are happening now are not in right spirit. Of course, the common movement will help the common people, but corrupted movement are helping the corrupted people. Moreover, we saw that the popular movements have many a times lead to disintegration of the country itself. Like a small movement which was led by a couple of few Islamic people who fought for the Islamic rights is known as Taliban now. It started a small movement that has now such a great terrorist group. And in Somalia, which was once a very good democratic country and one of the champions of the ship in the African continent, is now disintegrated by various political movements. Various political movements rose from different areas of Somalia and they got against each other. And by getting against each other, they cracked them down, and the movements, which are supposed to be peaceful, led to agitations and then wars. And this led to the disintegration of the democracy. So our topic, popular struggles and movements, strengthen the spirit of democracy, is not always true. I suppose that it was true in ancient times when India was not independent. Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, such great leaders of our country used to go on strikes or movements which led to the establishment of democracy. The current movements, I personally don't believe, are doing so. They are rather hampering the spirit of democracy and the very existence of democracy. Thank you. That's what I
So what is Randeep trying to say is that the spirit of democracy is directly proportional to the spirit of the movements performed. Actually, the more the spirit we have in our zeal, the more the spirit of the democracy is reflected. So I would like to invite another speaker, Gopal Ray, for the next discussion.
Morning class, today I supporting the panel discussion, popular struggles and movements strengthen the spirit of democracy. Now first, let me first tell you that democracy was to be the only type of governance where the ultimate power lies in the hand of the people. Some representatives come forward to this work from among the ordinary people. Also, they represent us only because we, the ordinary, want them to do so. They represent us administering the country and forming the government only to fulfill our demands. And whenever our demands are not met, a protest occurs, and sometimes these protests take the form of popular movements. The example of Anna Hazare is one of the biggest examples of today. The basic concept of his movement was to activate the Jan Lokpal Bill and revolt against corruption. Though he is quite old, but still, his movement has shaken the whole country tremendously. The views about the movement can vary from person to person, as my friend said. But his attempt towards removing corruption is certainly worth a praise from all the youngsters of this country. Coming on another example, look at Nepal. It gained democracy only in the year 2006. To go into the matter, the only notions and the movements have helped the country to gain democracy. Before that, the king of Nepal had not actually wanted democracy to come in the country, but the SPA government and the Maoist movement helped the country to regain the democracy and to continue it. I will conclude that in the end, that though movements may have involved political parties, as my friend Ronnie said, but I personally believe that movements can still bring changes in the country and regain democracy. Thank you.
Gopal, you are being a supporter of Anna Hazare, I see.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's great. To cross your views, I'd like to invite another speaker, that's Sushata Biswas.
Good morning, everyone. Today, the panel discussion, popular studies on movements strengthening the spirit of democracy. I do not agree to this. India, as we all know, is the single largest democracy in the world. Here, people of the whole country have people of the whole country have a right to speak on the decision making of the nation. This can be through indirect ways like elections, where people elect their representatives, or that can be direct by mass movements and struggles. As it suggests, mass movements are carried on by huge groups of people, which are vital links between the government and those who are governed. India, in the past decades and at the present, are undergoing many mass movements like the Jan Lokpal Bill, India Against Corruption and Black Money, and much more. The Jan Lokpal Bill, initiated by Anna Hazare, was a mass movement against corruption and black money. This was an issue well understood by all the household of India, who indeed took part in it and protested against. The media, newspapers, and everything was filled with news related to this issue. As it gained support, it became famous not only in India, but the whole world gazed upon India. Similar movement was carried out by Baba Ramdev, but he actually had other intentions. He was planning up for the next elections, which were going to be held in 2014. And in order to gain publicity, his yoga supporters only supported him. These movements may be very familiar to you, but I would like to draw your key attention to another lady who had another movement led by a lady in the northeastern part of the country, which is often neglected by all of us. This lady was Iron Chand Sharmila. Her movement began when she was 28, and since then she has been into hunger strike for the last 11 years. though she didn't gain any public support. Her protest was against the Armed Force Special Power Act, which enabled the armed force to shoot anyone they suspected without any legal procedure. The act, which was only imposed in the northeastern part of the country due to which several innocent people lost their lives. Iram Sharmila just seeks the government to repeal the act, which the government withdrew. After 3 days of her hunger strike, she was allegedly arrested by the police with a statement that she was about to commit suicide, while she was not. It was under IPC section 309, which was not at all legal. Since then, she has been rearrested and left. So we see all the three individuals fought for the welfare of the people, but only Anna Hazare and Baba Ramdev gained full support, while Iram Sharmila was just ignored. So I'd like to ask you a question. Is this because of the geographical importance, or is it a stereotype? This shows that women are still weaker in this section, in this society. Is it really what is democracy? Are women really given a chance to express their views? These questions really exist.
So Sushruta, basically you brought out another political movement of Ramdev and you cross-cut it. It was good. So I would like to invite Tanya to speak on the same discussion.
Good morning everyone. Today I stand before you to present my views on what I think about the popular struggles and movements, the topics, popular struggles and movements strengthen the spirit of democracy. I would speak against the motion. I would speak for the motion. We know that without a vision, the people will perish. Yet, in modern times, our political system is so disheartening to so many that the very idea of democracy seems to have lost its power to inspire us. Our participation in the democratic process seems that it has been reduced to only selecting a candidate from limited options, and our imagination seems also to have withered accordingly. Thus, it is time we awaken the spirit of democracy. And what could be better than the whole country coming together hand in hand, united as one, to stand up against the evils of our very own society, to make reforms and to procure what is rightfully ours. As we all are aware, a democratic government stands for the people, by the people, and of the people. And every individual has their own thought process and desires and views in a very rare match. Thus, a democracy almost inevitably involves conflicts. Here, popular struggles play a pivotal role in keeping us all together, no matter what problems we face. Experiences of several countries tell us that different protest associations and organizations play a major part in facilitating the work of democracy's possibilities. Within these, people can be active and influence the development of the society. We have seen from the times of our freedom struggle how important it is to raise our voices and not just sit back and discuss. I fail to comprehend why my worthy opponents feel that these movements are disturbances to the nation. Let us take the example of Annaji's movement. I wouldn't touch upon the political side of his movement. But in answer to the protest, the government said that the decisions could not be taken outside the rules of the constitution, and they complained that there was a lot of impatience shown by the people. Well, don't you think, friends, that little impatience after 30 to 40 years of waiting is justified? There have been people who have stood up against corruption alone, and we have seen